Time for the double post here on Grind City Media on YouTube, Grind City Media on X, 92.9 FM, ESPN on your radio dial, 901-445-0929, 901-445-0929. John Roser, Jessica Benson, Bennett, Doyle with you. Grizzlies see their season. Oh, I lost the box score for a second. Grizzlies have their season come to an end this afternoon at FedEx Forum. A valiant effort by our young Grizz squad. 117-115, the Oklahoma City Thunder get the victory, and Oklahoma City wins the series 4-0. There are tons of things to talk about from this game. There are tons of things to talk about in the offseason because the Grizzlies will have decisions to make for sure. But one last day at FedEx Forum for the 2024-2025 season, and the there can be multiple things can be true in a situation like this. We have gone from angry game one, angry again in game two.
I'd probably say embarrassed.
Embarrassed in game one.
Yeah.
Angry in game two.
Fair.
Depressed in game three, and I would say, Bennett, Doyle, I will let you say, what are we today?
I think just bummed that it's over.
Are we sad that it's over? Or are we glad that it happened?
No, well, both. A little bit of both. No, I mean, it's always sad when the season comes to an end. I thought the guys showed a lot of fight today. It was actually a fun game there at the end. I thought they were going to pull it out. But, you're missing your best player, and they're really good. And that kind of showed at the end, especially when Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was hitting those daggers. It was like, oh, yeah.
They're really good.
I forgot that guy plays for that team.
They are really good, and they're we will get to our second and third best players. Jessica Benson, real quick. We have full phone lines, so I have a word. Shout out to Eric Hasseltine. I promise I'm not gonna make you cry.
Oh, thank you so much. That's so sweet.
Shout out to Eric.
And shout out to Eric, who radio voice.
Eric's the best radio play-by-play guy.
Incredible,
in
and
the
he's
league.
so gracious to work with. And
yes.
His end of the year thank yous are always an emotional affair. The word that I will use for this game is wistful.
Oh.
And I am wistful because that was a winnable game. Through and through. I don't care. I do not care that the season came to an end. I mean, I obviously care that the season came to an end. But my natural instinct is, expletive. That was a winnable game for a million reasons. And the fact that it was a winnable game, down Ja, down Brandon Clark, down Jalen Wells, backs to the wall, elimination game. Your season could have continued. And for what? Fair question. The Oklahoma City Thunder, especially if Ja wouldn't have been able to eventually come back. But I'm like wistful of what could have been. And you can be frustrated that the team turned it over 22 times again. And we see that constantly with this group this season. I'm frustrated that the officials called 32 fouls on the Grizzlies to the Thunder's 20. And you look at the free throws and say, oh, it's not that big of a discrepancy. You felt the discrepancy of it within the context of the game and the a lack of physicality that the Grizzlies were allowed to play with versus what the Thunder were able to get away with in that game.
You ain't kidding.
And I'm wistful for, frankly, I'm just going to say it here off the top. I wish that there had been more people in this building today. Truly. It was the end of the season, and I understand everything that goes into the decision to either come or not come to a game. But it was a playoff game, and we have talked about it over and over. Playoff games are not guaranteed. Playoff moments are not guaranteed. And this team fought its booties off in front of a crowd, and they deserve to have more people in the building today. Sorry.
I actually, so where I was sitting on the Pinnacle media section, they have overflow up top in Pinnacle, so I sat on the lower part of the Pinnacle. So there are fans off to my right. And there were two fans who had not been to. They do not come to many games a year. Do not have season tickets or anything like that, or a pack or anything. Maybe come to 5 games a year, but came to this game today, had an absolute blast, and cheered their butts off the entire game. And they enjoyed every bit of it. They hate that the team lost, but. Look, we ask for the team. All we ask is, and part of Bennett, what we talked about game 1, game 2, what makes us so mad, and then even the second half you could say makes you mad about game 3 is you didn't feel like the fight was there. They showed up and fought today. They absolutely did. We've got full phone lines, 901-445-0929. Lang on the line. Hello, Lang.
Wait, first of all, you're talking about the fans sitting to your right. I sit to your right.
You did sit to my immediate right. They were a little farther over from my right.
I know who you were talking about, the two guys like 3 seats down from us who were yelling at us for most of the game, but also totally into it and excited about the game. Look, the fans who did come were great. There was a lot of fans who were loud and were awesome today. But to Jessica's bigger point, it was disappointing not to see every seat full. I don't know. The word, I guess, if we're all going with a word, the word for me is pragmatic, I think, because I get it, like you're playing one of the historically best teams in the history of the NBA in the regular season with the biggest margin of victory of any team, and you're going without Brandon Clark, without Jalen Wells, and then as the series goes along, without John Morant. That's half of your best players. So I don't really, I was hoping we could steal a win somewhere in there, but I think we all kind of knew what was going to happen. And the worst, to me, the worst is that game 3 because you had such a big lead. And, even at halftime, we all kind of had a thought, oh, no. And then our worst fears were realized. So if I had a stat tonight that jumped out at me, it was probably the 20-8 fast break point, 20-7, I'm sorry, fast break points by the Thunder. For a Grizzlies team trying to play up tempo, and that's been the last couple of years something we've heard a lot about, trying to figure out how to speed things up and outrun teams, outwork teams. To get outrun by the Thunder, and it's been a constant thing in this series. I think it's like over 75 points they scored on fast breaks in this series. The Grizzlies just didn't have it, and I like that they played with energy and made a game of it, had it close down the stretch. But it was tough, and I appreciate you guys. I like working with you guys, and it's been an awesome season. And go Grizz. I'm done.
Go Grizz. Appreciate you, man. All right. Adrian, you're up.
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
Well, we've come to the end of the road, but hey.
What is that Boys to Men, right? Yeah, Boys to Men.
Yeah. Hey, but that's okay because there's construction going on. There's a new road building, so we'll be okay. I'm waiting on the next year. One thing I got to just really, really point out is coach, does he have like a challenge collection or something at home that he's trying to add to?
That was weird. I was waiting on that one.
Wistfulness too, because
what?
I'm like, you do know if we lose, we don't have another game tomorrow. We don't have another game this season.
Your challenge is 1, don't roll over to the next game, and 2, there is no other game.
I'm like, man, our guys out there begging for him to challenge, and he's sitting there looking at the back row. I'm like, and then one thing that if he's going to be the coach, then kind of look at what OKC was doing, because I mean, as soon as Kuso said challenge, the coach challenged. He didn't wait on the video or anything. You know what I'm saying? So it was some things that I was like, oh my God, because I knew a couple of them probably would have been overturned or something, But that was my negative take on it. But everything else, from what we put out there, they left their hearts out there on the court. That's all you can expect, especially being an underdog like they were. So, proud of what they did, and looking forward to what happens over the summer and see what we can build on. And I'm always out in Vegas, so I'm getting set now to go out there and have some fun. And hopefully I see nephew Gigi out there this year. I know he already did his too, but I think he'll do another one this year and do a whole lot better once he get out of his own head. So that's my take.
All right. I appreciate it, Adrian. Thank you very much. I'm going to get to Ross your stuff because one of the things about this game that I showed up, I got here early today, like 10 a.m. today.
You're crazy.
Maybe so. Well, you're not the first person to call me crazy because I had to do you have to do your prep for the off season just in case this is what happens. And there's not a game 5. So we will get to some of that and what the Grizzlies possibly could be in store for coming next season. Miss Betty. Hello, Miss Betty. Miss Betty is vibes, and she's positive.
I am positive. Hey, let me begin by, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let me begin by saying thank you. You all are the best. Hasseltown is the best broadcaster. You are the best. Everybody is so great in terms of what you all do for the fans after show. Jessica, y'all just great. So let me say that first. I thought they fought very well today. I'm very optimistic. My head is up. Their head should be up. They didn't give up like I thought of the game. They gave up a little bit. Today they fought well. So I'm going into the off season with the understanding and optimistic that they will get a defensive coach that will teach them how to defend and how to do some scrimmages and things. OKC stayed on us. All right, stayed on us. When we crossed that line, they were right on us. So we got to learn to guard that 3-point line. Do a little bit more hassling them. And so it was just a good show. I really thought we were going to pull it out. I really, really did. They fought, but we did. And so I'm glad about that. I'm glad that they went out with their heads up. So I'm okay, especially with not having all our players healthy to do what we do. So I'm looking forward to them making some good decisions in the off season so that we can come back refreshed. You all take some time off this summer, have a good time, enjoy family and friends, do something fun, and then we're going to come back ready to rock and roll. Okay? Have a good one. That's all for me. And thank y'all and thank everybody that listened to you guys because you all are great. Thank you.
All right.
We love you, Miss Betty.
Call, Miss Betty. I'm letting the people go.
Go for it.
I'm letting the people go before I got to get into some stuff. And we're, Dave, you're up. Hello,
hey guys,
Dave.
What's going on?
Hey, what's up, man?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, so if you don't want to get into roster questions, then I guess you can just skip my call.
We can go back to it. We can go back to it. So just go ahead and ask me what you got to ask, man.
Yeah, so I don't have like a specific player to talk about, but like we've got a roster of 15, not including the two-way guys, Spencer and Yuki and Zion Poland. So of the other 15 on the roster, how many do you think come back next year, and how many do you want to come back next year? What's the degree of turnover you're looking for?
Think and want. Okay, I will get to this because yes, I have tons.
Johnny comes prepared.
I have tons of opinions on this roster. You could call me Mr. Opinion if you wanted to. Thank you, Dave.
You could call me Mr. As Future Constructed.
As Future Constructed, yes. That's a good one. Absolutely. James, you're up.
Hi. How you doing, guys?
Hey, what's up?
Well, first, I just want to say that I'll be honest. I got 2 points. I'll be honest. Like, when the series had it, I was Team Roser. I wanted the pick just because, I was kind of like, I don't really want to see, a sweep happen. Especially after game 1, it kind of confirmed that. And it got so bad to a point, I hate to admit this, that I was really going to bet the margin of how bad we were going to lose. But I was like, let me not do that. And game 3 and game 4, they fought. So that's at least, they showed some fight, so good for them. Second point is, I'm in the chat almost every day, watching either, Jessica's show, either GP or, Chris Redding show and stuff. Just seeing people saying we should blow this team up, I think it's just a little kind of, too quick to say that because – in context, we've only really been favored really in one series because against Utah, we weren't. That was our first year in the playoffs. We weren't gonna beat that team. They were number 1 seed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, we beat the Wolves. That was a fun series, but we beat them. Warriors, Ja got injured. against the Lakers, Ja got injured, Steve-O was injured, BC was injured. We were starting Tillman at center. So we didn't have a chance going into that series. I remember that whole talk. It was like very negative that year. And then this year, I mean, we'll go up against a 68-win team with a bunch of guys injured. Like, we fought, but, like, let's be real here. So the whole, like, blowing it up, I think we just need better pieces around our core three. I'm not really calling them a big three right now, like our core three. That's what I think we should honestly do. So I'm kind of curious to hear what you guys have to say about that. And, again, thanks for what you guys do.
All right. Absolutely. Appreciate the call. James, correct. Steve, you're up. I've got a list of names here. I'm trying to
keep note of what we're answering.
Yeah. Steve.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
We got you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, go. I want to say what Miss Betty said. You guys are great. Jessica, you're really good, and Bennett and Rosa, y'all are all pretty good. But, you know, it seems to me, now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a Ja hater, but every time Ja's out, it seems to me like the other guys step up a little bit, because during the season, it seemed like when Jaren was playing his best, getting his best shots, is when Ja was out. And I don't know if it's the fact that Ja commands the lead and, you know, everybody fades into him, but it seems to me, just man on the street opinion here, that when Ja's out, the other guys have a tendency to step up more than they do when Ja's in. Does it seem like that to you guys? And then the other thing, it seems to me like when the coach gets fired and you got a guy for 6 games, I don't care who he is, it's a guy to turn the team upside down to some extent. And I don't know if that's part of the problem, but, you know, it's got to be an issue. That's all I got.
All right. Thank you for the call, Steve. Yeah. There are definite things. There are certainly things there. On the coaching front, there were definite times that I think he, while a successful European coach, that the NBA game is different. And there were times, I think, some situational things where he could have been different. I think the end of was it the Warriors game, the play-in game?
The 5-second call.
The 5-second call when the play's being run for Desmond Bain to be thrown a cross-court pass on the inbounds.
When they had another chance with an inbounds down 3 tonight.
There's another one on that one, too. It's like the Thunder fouled because they had a foul to give, and then we basically kind of run that. It's similar to just throw it out top to Jaren. And it's like, yo, they're going to foul you. They're going to just foul you again and make you make free throws because it's a 3-point game. And as soon as Jaren turned to put the ball on the floor on Jalen Williams tried to foul him. And he did foul him, but the referee didn't call it until he threw the ball to Desmond Bain. And then they called the foul on the floor on OKC before Des took the shot. But by then, it was 0.9 left on the clock. And it's like, okay, well, the game's over now. So there needed to be a play that was drawn up right there. In my opinion, they needed a play right there that just got them a quick look at 3. Catch, shoot 3. It didn't need to be catch the ball, turn, and go, because then they're going to foul you at that point. That's how it's going to work in the NBA. So there's definite coaching things there.
On that note, just a couple of things that stand out on first thought. Like starting the fourth quarter without Scottie Pippen Jr. I thought was a tough decision. Having any stretch in the fourth, I know Jaren and Des were both playing with 5 fouls, and I know Des was exhausted at one point. But figure out a way to creatively even burn a timeout. If you're not going to save a timeout to use for a challenge, like at some point you got to figure out ways to get rest, because at that point you need both of those guys in the game. And listen, it's not like either of them had monster performances, but just their presence, the respectability of it. You needed that steadiness in. You needed Scottie, because you saw at the beginning of the fourth quarter, you're already struggling down ball handlers, and you take out Scottie, who, you know, is doing all that he can today. That was tough. And then the lack of using a challenge. Like, I'll never get over that. Like, you got to the point where you're in the arena,
3 moments,
and everybody is saying,
thought there was
are we
like
ever going
7?
to call a challenge? I think there were 2 obviouses. There might have been like 7 throughout the course of the game, but the 2 late. The offensive foul called on Scottie was brutal.
That was like, it was like a 3-point game. I think it was like 84-87 when that happened.
Yes. And you don't challenge that. I think it was a 5-point game at that point. It turns into a swing where Thunder, I think that's when they went up 10.
They went up 10.
Yeah.
They hit and then they hit a 3. Yeah, SGA hit the 3, yeah.
And then the other one, the one where SGA pushed off Scottie. Like, he pushed off Scottie first, and if you had gone back and looked at it, I think you would have called that. So anyway,
and he didn't.
You can't change it now.
And then in a critical moment on their end, their coach calls a timeout in a challenge when Edey grabs Caruso's jersey, and that really flipped it too. That took it away from a one possession.
Which Edey, his best rim protection,
7 blocks, baby.
The blocks. I mean, he altered some shots too. I think Jalen SGA had a couple of drives in this game where Edey came over and just jumped up as they were trying to jump a score, and it altered the way they threw the ball off the backboard. Like I definitely Edey's best performance from a defensive standpoint tonight is you're going to take a look right here on video, some of the plays that Edey that he was able to make in the paint tonight. Yeah, I thought, Zach, that has been a thing with him. Look at he did not step out too far on Hartenstein to where Hartenstein could just pull up and take that floater. Good job getting over right there. You're going to see Chet pump fake. Look at Edey get back, recover. That was a good job by Jaren stepping up there that allowed Edey to get back. Good job. Is that Cason Wallace on the drive right there? Yeah. So I thought Edey's definite. What they do in this offseason, because the truth is, well, we'll get they don't have a lot to work with this offseason. They are going to have to get insanely creative. They're going to have to get very creative with stuff. They do not have a lot to work with. So Zach Edey's development going into year 2 is going to be massive for them. John, you're up.
Thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it. As y'all have alluded to, there's so many things you can look at in a tight game like this. Roser, what you were just saying in terms of getting creative, I think the only way they can really make significant changes is to trade one of the big three, and I'm not advocating for that, but I'm saying that might be the only way that you're going to be able to make some significant changes, but that's not really why I called. I think the biggest play of the game tonight was I think there was roughly a minute and a half to go. We had cut the lead to 2. Pippen drives under the basket. He's fouled twice, once on the outside, once by Holmgren underneath the basket. He loses the ball. Then they call it fouling Pippen. That turned us. We went from down 2 to down 4 on that. And then the other thing that I don't remember anybody saying is that Dez and Jaren tonight were a combined 10 of 32 with 10 turnovers and 10 fouls. That's not good.
No. Oh, I've got you want to. I mean, John, you want to hear more numbers? Desmond Bane in this series, 31.7% from the field, 21.9% from 3. 7 threes made all series, 15 turnovers, and only 13 assists also. Jaren for the series, 37.9% from the field, 27.3% from 3. Only made 3 threes the entire series, 11 turnovers. That's fine. You don't want him shooting a ton of threes. If you don't, that's fine. His last 2 games in the series, Jaren turned the ball over 8 times and only made 10 shots from the field. That can't be.
No, that's definitely a major factor. So anyway, hey, thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it.
Yep. All right. Thanks for the call,
Dez
John.
makes that late 3, like that keeps the game alive.
It kept the game alive.
I turn to Lang and I go, if he could have just made a couple of the normal ones along the way, we're in a different situation.
Read you a text I got when that.
While you're pulling that up, I mean,
no. It's right here. Yeah, because it was very recent.
Okay.
Now you effing hit one.
Oh, I think I said the exact same word. I think that was the actual language that I used. That's the immediacy of it.
Just check. Did not get that from you. That was
I said it out loud.
I think there were a lot of text. A lot of what you said out loud said when he finally.
There was that one possession where I think they were down 8, and the Grizzlies got like 4 offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
I mean, they were just scrapping.
I remember Pippen was all over the place on that.
Over it. And I think, I don't know if it was this one, but if Conchar was in, because there were a couple possessions where Conchar worked his butt off to get a second possession as well. But this one, it started with a Desmond Bane 3, and it ended with a Desmond Bane blocked by SGA.
Yes.
And I was just like, This is the chance.
Scotty had 4 offensive rebounds in this game, and I'm pretty sure like 3 of them came on that possession.
Yeah, it was wild.
You remember the play earlier in the series that totally pissed us off when Isaiah Joe, like the ball was a long rebound, and Isaiah Joe ran between I think it was like Scotty and Santi, and just grabbed the ball and then just walked into a 3 and buried it. And we're like, seriously, guys?
Yep.
That was Scotty on that possession this time. He was running through everybody trying to grab the offensive rebounds. Scotty, by far, he is, if you're talking about the positive things that came from this series, I think Scottie Pippen Jr. is the
best player in the series, right?
There are 2 positives. Yeah, there are 2 positives that came from this series, which one of them I think most of us already knew. I definitely did. One of them is Scottie Pippen Jr. is the positive. That's not the one I know. The 2 is the roster's not good enough, which we all did find out for sure. Chris, you're up.
Hey, yeah. I just wanted to say quickly, I know I ain't gonna have so much valuable information I wanted to put out, but I wanted to say that, like I said, it seems like I was right about this. I said it before last month. The Grizzlies roster is fine. It has nothing to do with, they have a championship roster. All of that is on the coach. I'm disgusted with how they were coached. And then it's amazing how all of the radio and podcasters and talking heads and the fans are all talking, and they sound very clueless as to what really is wrong with the Grizzlies. For the most part, all of that was basically on the coaching staff. You understand? They had 21 turnovers. A lot of that is you don't have to have no excuse to have 21 turnovers in this game. And this was their best game they played. He finally put Vince Williams in the rotation, even though he only got 18 minutes, and which he should have started in this series. And he ironically had 0 turnovers, 11 points, and I think like 4 rebounds or something, in just 18 minutes. And then you have he put out. I don't think John Conchar and Marvin Bagley should have even played in this series at all. But people tell me, oh, well, I don't, you know what I'm saying. But like I said, you have a coach that was sitting on that bench for all year or whatever. He was an assistant coach, and he don't even know who his better players is or who to play in the playoffs. Injuries was not even the real factor. They had the rotation. The players they had available, except Ja Morant when he got hurt the last game. They needed him, of course. But they had kept it to an 8-man rotation, started Vince Williams. Scottie Pippen Jr. is great, but he is a guard. He could have came off the bench and did the same thing, got a lot of minutes and did whatever. They had to start Vince Williams, cut the turnovers, and in every game consistently pass the ball around and quit playing hero and ISO ball. They could have beat OKC. OKC is a fraud. Minnesota, more than likely, and the Boston Celtics will be in the finals. And take my word for it, I highly doubt OKC will be in the finals.
All right, thank you for the call, Chris. I appreciate it. I actually agree with that. I think the Clippers are going to beat them in the next round.
I'm just glad I didn't misquote him there.
So yeah, man,
marked safe from a misquote.
I love Vince. But by the way, 901-445-0929, 901-445-0929. I love Vince, but let's be real. Like, Vince was given opportunities this year and was not good. And this game was, can we all agree, if they win today, they get closed out in 5, a gentleman's sweep?
Yeah.
I think that's fair. Yep.
So, again, Vince good in a game that probably, in the grand scheme, is meaningless.
Listen, in a game where it mattered, he came in and he had 2 fouls and 2 turnovers in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I watched it.
Yeah,
with my own eyes.
That Golden State game was a disaster. It was
bad. And he said later, like, I'm not saying that to dismiss the future altogether of Vince Williams, but from the moment he said he wasn't operating at 100%, he came off 2 pretty awful injuries. The first one he comes back from with the knee, and then he goes and he has not just a normal ankle sprain, but one of those really, really bad ankle sprains. And he comes back, to his credit. But listen, there is a reason why when he came back and when G.G. Jackson came back, there were legitimate conversations of, is Jalen Wells going to lose his starting spot to either of these two, who were the presumed starting 3 at the beginning of the season? And shout out to Jalen Wells, who stepped in there and put together a rookie campaign where he didn't lose that spot, but it was partially because of him and partially because those 2 came back and they never earned it. It was theirs to earn.
It was
they had every opportunity. I'm not going to sit here with revisionist history.
It's the same way with the Zaire Williams thing last year.
Yes.
Like, you had every opportunity to earn that small forward spot and go and get it, and
It is one of the reasons Marcus Smart gets traded in the middle of the season. It is the assumption
We'll get to that.
They were going to be able to provide more than what they did. And there could still be absolutely a future where they are better. But
Marcus Smart and Jake LaRavia, it absolutely is one of the reasons. Not the main, but it is a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Kelvin, you're up. The Netherlands. Dutch.
Once again, Rosa, shout out to all you guys at Grind City Media and all my family back over in North Memphis. Hey, I'm going to make it short and sweet. Y'all saved me a lot of oxygen effort by addressing the Vince Williams issues. He must not have been seeing the same Vince I've been watching. And I'm staying up to, what is it, midnight over here?
Oh, it's midnight in the Netherlands.
Oh.
How about that?
Hey, I'm going to Amsterdam this fall. I can't wait.
You're going to get a Memphis Depay soccer jersey?
Belgium, England, all of them. And this time, at least I got to see them play with some effort, but I'm more concerned with these guys, developing their games. I want them to develop a higher basketball IQ. One of the reasons I had a problem with Vince's play and some of the time with Gigi's play is they play low IQ basketball. Why you do things that are stupid? If you tell me you made a mistake, okay, that's fine, the first or second time. We're working on it the 7th to 8th time. It's an IQ issue then. And same with, like I said, my wife almost kicked me out of the living room, seeing the ball bounce between the two of our guys. And everybody watching, well, you supposed to grab the rebound. No, you supposed to grab it. Oh, he got it. I just want to, what do you think? Is it a matter of IQ or is it a matter of effort?
Yeah. So thank you for the call, Kelvin. I appreciate it. I think it's an effort thing. I think when there's a loose ball on the ground, a loose rebound, that is you. There's something in you that says, I'm going to go get that.
And we saw that a lot.
And we saw that a ton where they got guys that don't go and get that ball. They don't go and get it. Scottie Pippen Jr. went and got it today, but they got a lot of guys that don't go get that ball. So you need to get some of those guys. Who? I do have names. I have names too.
Oh, you came with names.
Oh, I came with names. Ali, you're up.
Yeah, my question for the group is, at what point is Zach climbing on the hot seat? Because if you think about where we're at today, a lot of it comes down to the construct of the roster. So with the exit interviews happening tomorrow, do you see Kleiman being on the hot seat tomorrow, and do you see a possible change happening starting with him, for the offseason?
I appreciate the call, Ali. I appreciate it. I don't think anything's off the table with what happened here. With what happened post All-Star break, and I know we do. I feel like we feel better today after we felt after Game 3, as far as, because I think deep down, part of us was expecting them to come in and get run today.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we expected. This felt like 2016 San Antonio when they had 30 players on the roster and were playing Xavier Munford and Jordan Farmer. That's what it felt like coming into it, and how it felt around downtown before.
Bennett, I came in and I had reckless optimism.
Oh yeah, you did.
And I said, I'm going to choose to err on the side of I believe in this team today. And it almost paid off because people looked at me like I was insane. And I understand it. But listen, I'm not kidding. Like, we have calls, we have things to get to that are far more important than this. But I just woke up and I was so happy. We had a playoff game today. I was amped. I was disappointed that Ja can't play in it. And I was disappointed that the odds were not in this team's favor. Yeah. But it's always an exciting thing. Like, I was out here telling people that we should have our own version of, no, I'm not going to say, like, you should never go full Malice in the Palace. But I wanted no decorum in the forum.
Yeah.
Like, I just wanted to see some fight from everyone. And early, we talk about things that we wanted to potentially see done. And I think Eric mentioned it at some point, like, just have somebody go into that game and set a hard screen on Alex Caruso.
Yes.
Because he was just bullying Jaren again. Go set a message.
There was a play. Jaren got called for an offensive foul on Caruso for an illegal screen where he took his foot out and stuck his hip. And I watched the replay, and I go, I was sitting next to Lane Whitaker, and I go, Jaren, if you're going to hip check him. Like, actually do it. If you're going to do it, do it. Like, don't just stick your leg out and
right.
Don't say, actually freaking hit him.
Don't hey buddy him.
Yeah.
Like,
don't buddy him. Actually, like, pop him. Make them feel it.
Yeah.
Instead, after Jaren did it, Jaren like huddled down on the ground. It's like, come on.
Anyway, to go back to your larger point, like no one is sitting here like, wow, I am super shocked that the Grizzlies lost this game today and ultimately got swept. But that's where I appreciate the effort. Like the players came to win a game.
They did. It would have been having to sit through 2 hours and 42 minutes is egregious for a basketball game. Lee, you're up.
Hey, guys. So this is Lee Evans, first-time listener, long-time caller.
Yes.
First off,
my favorite.
Chat legend.
That's my favorites.
First off, I just want to say how much I love the entire Grind City Media crew. While this year has been less than ideal, y'all have been operating at a 96 Bulls level, this whole crew. The entire broadcast has been lights out and has been making my day every day until Chris Vernon talks over Roser. But I love this call-in show, too, in particular, because I love Jess, I love Roser, I love Bennett all together. It's like, what a treat to have you guys all together. You guys have been putting in a ton of work, and it's not been, going unnoticed by fans. You guys have been putting a ton of work, and hashtag Roser was right, hashtag Lutherette, hashtag Big Ben Bennett. My question, though, for you guys, this is super urgent for Grizzlies and also for the Vatican. I don't believe Thomas Iselo's the guy. Honestly, I think he's kind of a dummy. He calls out a bounds plays for Santi Aldama. He gives last shots to Conchar in Game 3 against the Thunder. I'm 100% out on this guy. He isn't challenging calls. Call me xenophobic, call me all you want, but we need someone with a little bit more integrity, a little bit more based on faith. Point blank, we have a lot of issues. Do you guys think that we should get the second or third best pope that doesn't get picked by the Vatican in a conclave? Because they're going to pick a pope. They're going to pick a pope next week, okay? Everyone knows this, okay?
I'm up for pope, by the way.
We can't have the number one pick. They're going to get that guy, right? We're going to get the number one pope. Do you think we get the second runner-up or the third guy getting the most votes? Because they don't even need that guy, the second or third, okay? We could use him in Memphis. You may laugh at this, but Joe Mazzulla is literally the sitting championship coach of the Boston Celtics. He won his first year as a head coach. He's a famous Catholic. It's an outstanding job. He has a dog mentality, right? Porzingis is bleeding on the floor sacrificially, and he sacrifices like any guy, just like a guy we all know and love. Also, Rick Pitino, who has never done anything wrong and innocent of all charges, is also a famous Catholic coach, and he's been stepping up for them over at St. Mary's. And the core three, we keep talking about a core three, but guys like this is the core three. The true core three is the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And that is what we could do because Phil Jackson also ran a core three, the triangle offense.
Come on, dude. Get to it. All right, man.
If you get a pope that's mixed with Rick Pitino, it would be the godliest man ever. So I was just saying, do you think we should get the second or third best pope to be a coach of the Grizzlies next season?
Maybe just a consultant.
Yes.
Maybe just a consultant.
Yeah, or as a consultant.
I didn't know Joe Mazzulla was a famous Catholic. I didn't know that.
I was unaware of that as well.
Yeah, you learn something on these every time.
You learn something new every day.
Every day.
Unfamiliar.
Does he have a script?
He's innocent of all charges, Rick Pitino. I think that could really help us.
You're still there.
Bye, Lee.
Bye, Lee. Oh, my God.
Patino's done a great job at St. John's. There's no doubt about it. He's been amazing there. Who would have thought St. John's would be where they are again? So, you can't say the guy can't turn things around.
Oh, my gosh.
Fair enough.
Gosh. All right. We're going to...
On a scale of Rick Pitino to Pope,
we're going to take a break.
Where does the Grizzlies coach go?
We are going to take a break.
You're only getting that analysis.
And we're going to come back, and we're going to answer questions about... we have roster, what we think, what we want. We have core three, build around or blow up. We have climb in hot seat question mark, and we have Isolo. Those are the 4 questions I got. Okay. We'll go through. This is probably the most important thing you could read about the Grizzlies offseason. Shout out to Chris Harrington. And we'll get to it when we get back. Double post, John Roser, Jessica Benson, Bennett Doyle. Back after this.
Flu season is here. Protect yourself and your loved ones with a seasonal flu or senior flu shot at the Shot Nurse. With 3 locations, it's fast, convenient, and easy. Plus, it's free with most insurance. Or for groups of 10 or more, the nurse can come to you. Call 901-685-9999 or go to shotnurse.com to book your group appointment. The Shot Nurse is your wise choice.
Cheer on the Grizzlies with a slice of pizza in hand. When it's game day, there's only one place to satisfy your cheesy, doughy cravings. Head over to Rockin' Dough Pizza and Brewery, available at Section 109, for the ultimate winning team of pizza made with the freshest ingredients and local craft beer. Score big with flavor at Rockin' Dough Pizza and Brewery. Also visit us at our Germantown, Cordova, and soon-to-be Orleans Station locations.
Thinking about when you'll hang your jersey in the rafters? Robinhood Gold members enjoy Hall of Fame treatment with a 3% IRA match on retirement contributions. Accelerate towards retirement with Robinhood, the official investing and jersey patch partner of the Memphis Grizzlies. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires a gold subscription for 1 year from first match. Must keep IRA for 5 years. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. For more information, go to robinhood.com/retirement. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
If you're looking for a getaway that has it all, and all just a quick flight or a short drive from North Texas, you need to plan a visit to Little Rock, Arkansas. This historic capital city is big in all the right ways, with a vibrant, walkable downtown that you're going to love to explore, a booming dining scene, endless arts and culture, exciting events, and more, all surrounded by endless places to get outside, hike, bike, paddle, and play. One visit and you'll leave big on Little Rock. Plan your getaway at littlerock.com today.
There's work being done and changes being made in Memphis. The Memphis Police Department is working hard to protect the peace, the pride, and the people of our city, to realize our greatness together, doing jobs that matter for ourselves, our families, and our community. If you're ready to work for change and not just wait for change, we need you in a challenging and financially rewarding career with the Memphis Police Department. Become the change. Visit joinmpd.com and apply today.
Postseason dunks, threes, buzzer beaters. There's so much NBA happening. I gotta keep up.
Whoa, take it easy there. There's a better way to NBA. All playoffs long.
Wait, really?
With the NBA app, you get real-time stats and scores for every playoff matchup. Witness playoff drama as it unfolds.
Wait, seriously?
Catch every bucket all in one place, all for free.
Where have you been all my life?
There's a better way to NBA. Download the app today. Available on the Google Play, Apple app, and Android stores.
Are you tired of dealing with meters and paying overages on your copier invoices? Give Konica Minolta a call to learn about their One Rate program. That's right. You pay one rate, and it includes the machine, unlimited printing, toner, staples, and there are no meters and no overages involved. Simplify your copier and printer billing by calling Jeff Lee today at 387-5603 to learn more about the revolutionary new program.
Big River Steel is on the edge of something big. That's why we're recruiting the best talent to help us develop the sustainable steel needed today and tomorrow. Ready to be a part of it? Visit www.bigriversteel.com/join-r-team. That's www.bigriversteel.com/join-r-team.
Back here on the Double Post, John Roser, Jessica Benson, Bennett Doyle. We're live. Grind City Media on YouTube, Grind City Media on X, 92.9 FM, ESPN on your radio dial. Hope everybody, if you're still driving home from the game, you are getting there safe, or wherever you go after the game, you get there safe. And if you're having beverages, please call an Uber or a Lyft or get a DD to take you home on this Saturday night in Memphis, Tennessee. Grizzlies season comes to an end today at the hands of the Oklahoma City Thunders, 117-115. We still got two more calls now. David, what's up?
Hey, Rosa.
Hello. Hey, what's up, man?
Well, one thing is, as a Grizzlies fan, I'm not a sore loser. So congratulations to your guys for going to the second round.
Yes.
I'll miss this bit.
Yeah. Took a lot.
But I have to say, I don't whine about the refs too much, but 60 free throws and 60 fouls in a game is crazy. It's a playoff game.
It's insane,
You know,
man.
I mean, I can see it in a regular season game, but just let them go.
Yeah,
And,
it's insane.
But at least you saw guys who weren't afraid. Obviously Pippen, last 2 games, he's shown he can play in the big moments. But it's just a shame the 2 max players on the team didn't really show anything. And anyway, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about the roster and the changes and all that. But just thanks to Bennett, he's a legend. Jessica's great, and Rosa, you're there too. So good. See ya.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, thank you for the call. Kai, you're up.
I have fun at the Grizzlies game. I enjoy swinging the towel and playing with the broomsticks. Go Grizzlies.
We love you, Jess.
Go Grizzlies.
Go Grizzlies.
Love the boomsticks.
Go Grizzlies. Go Grizzlies.
Aw, thanks, Kai. A1 caller.
You're going to end it on that note. That was a good call
that's
to
a
end
good
it
one.
on.
That's a good one to end it on.
Always end it with a cute kid.
Yep.
All
And
right.
then we turn to...
Now we turn
What?
to okay. So
You better-
this is where we have to talk about the offseason.
You better calm down over there. I don't like what you're cooking up.
Well, I was doing math. I was doing some math real quick. So what they have with their by the way, you can all read this. When we talk about roster stuff, but these are NFL draft names. Ignore these. But the rest of this is all number stuff. Chris Harrington wrote about this, about Jaren Jackson Jr. 3 paths if Jaren Jackson Jr. doesn't reach Supermax eligibility. You can all read this at the Daily Memphian if you have a subscription. If you don't, you can probably sign up for a free trial or something like that. But basically, the Grizzlies are going to have, I know what everybody said when you see all the money that's dropping off the Grizzlies books. You see Johnny Davis, $5.2 million coming off. Luke Kennard's $9.2 million. Marvin Bagley's $12.5 million. Kennedy Chandler, $2 million. Lamar Stevens, $668,000 coming off the books. And then actually there's the 2-way contract, which is not signed for next year for Cam Spencer, Yuki Kawamura. So we'll see on those. But one of the things is Jaren Jackson Jr. in the All-NBA if he reaches the Supermax, if he's eligible for a Supermax extension. And basically, this is one of the things that happened at the trade deadline and why it was explained why they traded Marcus Smart and why they got off of Jake LaRavia. It is to create more cap space to be able to renegotiate the final deal, the final year of Jaren Jackson Jr.'s contract. Because here's what it is with the way the NBA salary cap works. Jaren is slated to make $23.4 million next year. He did not sign a max contract last time because there were injury concerns. He's slated to make $23.4 million next year. Basically, the way the collective bargaining agreement works is the most you are able to offer him on a new extension is 40%. The starting salary has to be 40% more than $23.4 million. Based off that, the maximum they could do right now is offering a 4-year, $147 million extension. Jaren Jackson Jr. is not taking a 4-year, $147 million extension. That's even if he doesn't make All NBA. So basically, when they make this trade now, the Marcus Smart trade, that's $21.6 million off the books. The Grizzlies are currently about $6.5 million under the cap this summer. That means they're $6.5 million. They would have to renounce cap holds on, you renounce rights to Luke Kennard, Marvin Bagley, Johnny Davis, like all those guys. You renounce their rights. What Davis, they don't have them because they outright released him anyways. But Marvin Bagley, Luke Kennard, you renounce your rights to them. You would also, if you want to get higher, you would have to renounce rights to Santi Aldama, which I don't think they're going to do because then you don't retain bird rights, which means you can't offer him more than another team could offer him. So $6.5 million under the cap, which basically means if you give all of that cap space, $6.5 million of it to Jaren to renegotiate the final year of his contract, that basically puts Jaren's salary up to $29.9 million a year. And if you give all of it to him, that's 4 years and $189 million. And as Harrington writes in here, I'm pretty sure, and I would think so too, Jaren Jackson Jr. is not going to take a 4-year, $189 million extension. Because in free agency, if he got to unrestricted free agency after next season, said, I want to play out the final year of my deal and got to unrestricted free agency, another team could offer him 4 years, $220 million. So now you could still, because you have Jaren's bird rights, ultimately you could pay him more than anybody else can, even if he gets to unrestricted free agency next year. If he didn't want to renegotiate and sign an extension this offseason, you could still get to unrestricted free agency. But basically, this is the biggest thing for the Grizzlies this offseason. What they are going to have, though, is they're going to have their full mid-level exception. And there's pretty much, Bennett, you've been through this, haven't you? You've gone through free agents.
Oh yeah, what I would say to people out there saying, we got to go get the free agency pool is probably not as good as you think it is.
It is not as good as you think it is.
You just go look at who's an unrestricted free agent this offseason. There's not a lot of big names out there. There's just not.
Yeah.
Talking about, because obviously I see, we've seen a lot of don't pay Jaren, do pay Jaren.
Dude, you're paying Jaren. You're paying him.
Here's what I would say to that.
Yeah.
Because I know that this has been a disappointing second half of the season, and then you have to play the 1 seed and lose 4 straight and get swept. So it's obviously everyone's disappointed. There's no other way to put it.
Right.
Jaren's a great player, and the thing is, for the people that would say move on from Jaren, what I would say is, what are you getting back?
Right.
Like who are you?
Right.
Who are you bringing in to replace that guy? Because big men are at a premium in this league, especially good ones, and he is a good one. And it's just really hard to go out and find that guy, especially in a small market. I just that's what I would say. Jaren's been great for this franchise. He had a disappointing series. So did Desmond Bane. He's had a lot of success here, man. He's won Defensive Player of the Year. If it wouldn't have been for how the second half of this season went, he might have won another Defensive Player of the Year. He's a great player. So I'm just putting that out there for the people that want to, that are out there saying move on. I would just say maybe pump the brakes a little bit.
People definitely need to pump the brakes on that. So there's already been a question: why can another team offer more than we can? They can't. If Jaren plays the final year of his deal out next year, the Grizzlies can still offer more because the Grizzlies can offer a 5th year. The Grizzlies could offer if Jaren got to unrestricted free agency after next season, which the Grizzlies could offer, another team could offer him 4 years, $220 million. The most the Grizzlies can offer is then 5 years, $296 million. That's a regular max, no super max. That's what the regular max would be for Jaren. So it's still $76 million more than another team can sign. And you can go over the cap to keep your own players. If Jaren gets to that point, you can. Now, this is the salary cap I'm trying to not confuse people, but it is so great. So if they renegotiate next year, the final year of that deal, the $23 million, because this would be in order to keep him from even getting to restricted free agency. If that is your goal, if he doesn't make all NBA, you don't want him to even get to restricted free agency. That means you would have to renegotiate the final year of his contract. You cannot go over the cap to renegotiate that final year of the contract. That's why the cap space does matter. It can't you can't just blow through the $6.5 million of cap space to renegotiate his final year. You would have to then, if you need to make even more cap space, you're going to have to get off of more money, more contracts to be able to then do it. So it's confusing, but anyways, I will say I do have a list of free agents that I think they can target. They will have their full mid-level exception if they want to use it. You can also use your full mid-level exception as a trade exception too. So you can combine that with something and use that as salary to bring something back. You can do that too. My names are Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Yep.
As a mid-level.
And he's going to be on a lot of other people's lists, too. Because, again, when you look at that free agency pool,
there's not a lot of guys.
He is like the one name that really stands out.
Not.
Yeah.
There's not. That are unrestricted free agents. Like, there's not a lot of them. Tim Hardaway Jr., Gary Payton II, Alec Burks, and then get ready for these two, Steven Adams and Jake LaRavia. Those are the names I looked at. I was like, I thought that you might be able to get that aren't going to cost like a ton of money because you're going to have roster spots open because Kennard back, like you're going to have roster spots open. Like
for sure.
You could always convert Cam Spencer's from a two-way to a regular roster. You could always do that and then open up another two-way spot. You can do that to get yourself to put another cheap contract on the books. That's always possible too. But there is, we've gotten the questions about it, about who do we think will be back, who do we want back. I do the same thing again next year.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing for this team that's just obvious and stands out to everybody right away is you need a wing with size that can defend.
Yes.
That is the biggest glaring hole. A wing with size that can defend.
And to get one of those, you need salary to send out to be able to get one back that is good.
Yeah.
Herb Jones is a name I've heard in New Orleans, but there's also going to be a lot of other teams calling New Orleans about Herb Jones and a lot of other players because now that they have done a front office change, most front office people come in and they kind of want to do their own thing with it. I will say for the Grizzlies and this core, so here is some work here on the Grizzlies are headed towards this. This is just the fact of where they're headed. If you are staying with Ja, Des, and Jaren, you are staying with three players making $30 million or more a year. That's happening. This year in the NBA, there are 5 teams that had at least three players, make $30 million a year or more. The Celtics, they're awesome. The Nuggets, it's been shaky. They're there, but it's been shaky. We've heard all about it. The Minnesota Timberwolves, and then the abject disasters that are the Philadelphia 76ers and the Phoenix Suns. There are 3 teams this year that have 0 players making $30 million. The Chicago Bulls, and that won't change next year. The Detroit Pistons, that will change with Cade Cunningham's extension kicking in. And the Orlando Magic with Jalen Suggs and Franz Wagner's extensions. So if you want to hit next year, these are the teams that will have at least 3 players making $30 million or more next season in the NBA. The Boston Celtics, who will have 4. The Cleveland Cavaliers, because Evan Mobley's extension kicks in. The New York Knicks, the 76ers, the Toronto Raptors, Brandon Ingram, Emmanuel Quickley, and Scotty Barnes, the Nuggets, the Rockets, the Timberwolves, the Pelicans, and the Suns. And the Suns are going to get off KD. So that's not they're not going to be one of those next year. And then next year the teams with 0 will be the Nets and the Bulls. And I had, oh my gosh, did I lose my other piece? I have the teams I have the players that are making, no. We got it. Yeah. I have the teams with players making $35 million or more, because that is also where the Grizzlies are headed. If you are keeping these 3 guys, this is the reality of the situation. Is if you're keeping those 3, this is what you're going to have. There are teams with 3 or more players making $35 million or more next season. It is going to be the Cavs, the 76ers, the Nuggets, and the Suns. And we know the Suns are getting off of KD. We see what the Nuggets are at a crossroads, too. They're coming to 1-2, and I think Michael Porter Jr. could be there. The 76ers are...
They're busy fighting the Clippers right now.
Yeah, I heard there was a fight. And then the Cavaliers are in a good space. It is really, really difficult to do. It's really, really difficult to do. These are just the truths of it. It is very hard to do. I don't want to tell them. I don't want to say that you have to maybe move, but it needs to be, all things have to be discussed. All things have to be discussed.
I mean, what I would say is this team is not that far removed. Well, last season you throw out, and then you had the Lakers series before that. But the season before that, with that same core three of guys, like they made it to the second round of the playoffs and had a competitive series.
That's when they had guys on rookie contracts.
That's true. That's very true.
You have to decide, are you going to treat these guys like they are Steph, Clay, and Draymond? They are LeBron, Wade, Bosh. They are Duncan, Ginobili, Parker. They are even Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley. You have to decide that. Are they good enough for that? Are they good enough to make the playoffs with not a good roster around them? Clearly they are. They're good enough to do that, but it wasn't good enough to be competitive. I think what they'll do, they're going to try to build around them. They're going to try to exhaust every avenue they can to get this roster better around these guys and give them a fighting chance together again. Because one thing this did teach them is that they don't have a fighting chance, as you are far away from that team. The Oklahoma City Thunder have 2 players this year making $30 million or more. It is SGA. It is Isaiah Hartenstein. Next season, they have 1 player making $30 million or more, and it's SGA because Hartenstein's deal goes down. That team is going to be here for a while. They got a couple of years before they got to do the Chet Jalen Williams
and
thing.
you look what they did. I mean, again, when they were ascending.
Yeah.
And, this year they felt like they were in a good spot. Yeah. What'd they do? They went out and got Caruso and Hartenstein, right?
Yep.
Like veteran, good players to put around their young core. So, they're doing it the right way.
As for the coach, he can't be your coach. He can't be your coach. I don't think he can be your coach. This team needs to win. He's not an experienced NBA coach. He's not an experienced NBA coach. This team, this would be one thing. They hired Taylor Jenkins as a first-time coach.
Mm-hmm.
They hired Taylor Jenkins as a first-time coach with a young team. Jaren's in his, what was that, Jaren's second year?
Yes.
Jaren's second year. Ja's first year. Brandon Clark's first year. They're all up and coming, and they're all learning together. I think a veteran coach. A veteran, proven coach. Now,
but you can admit he was dealt a tough hand here.
He was
absolutely dealt a tough hand.
I've seen a lot of people going to his quote
hand.
from after the game, too. And Bennett and I were listening to that press conference live, and somebody did ask him if he wants to be the permanent head coach for the Grizzlies. And I think it caught him off guard.
It
and
did
he said,
catch
sure,
him off.
Why not?
Man, that was Stats Norsworthy asking that question.
It definitely caught him off guard.
It
so
did.
if he does end up being, you can have reservations about graduating him from interim head coach. Like, this is one of the many difficult conversations. This is going to be an off-season of difficult conversations.
It's good. It's
like that is a fact of the matter.
Yes,
and there is no yes, or no. There's a lot of gray area to be decided when it comes to this team.
There is.
Who knows if people are hanging on to that quote like for dear life right now and coming off of a game where the frustrations boil over into the crowd. And it's never a good thing when a crowd has decided, why is this coach not ever going to use a challenge? And it becomes, and it was a legitimate question. Why aren't you using a challenge? I hope that is a question that is asked continuously.
And it's not, it doesn't mean
learned from this.
And it doesn't mean that he's not a bad coach. I'm sure he's a great coach. Yeah. I mean, clearly the pedigree, and the Grizzlies were not the only team that tried to get him from Paris basketball, but it's just
right. They had to pay money to get him. From Paris
they had to pay money to get him. Yes, and I'm sure he is a great coach, and he may be a great. I mean, I
cannot make.
I just think the way this
statements on Thomas Islo as a future NBA head coach based on the situation that he found himself in this year.
Right. It is just my opinion, and I don't know. And he may end up being an awesome coach. He might be. But I do think they need somebody that is a proven head coach, though, because these guys need to win. Like, they're in a spot where they got to win, man. Like, they got to win. Oklahoma City, 3 years ago, they were ahead of Oklahoma City. 3 years ago, they were ahead of the Houston Rockets. 3 years ago, they were ahead of the San Antonio Spurs. And they might still be ahead of the San Antonio Spurs, but that 7'5" alien that they have at center is coming. And De'Aaron Fox is there now. Like, San Antonio's not far away either.
And
they got much. And Stephon Castle.
Rookie of the year.
San Antonio's not far away. Like, they're on their way.
You want to know who got better? The Portland
Houston's not going anywhere.
Houston's here. Oklahoma City's here. The Portland Trailblazers were better the second half of the season than the Grizzlies were. Like, they need to win now. They've got to win now.
Yes.
So that's all I'm saying. He may be an awesome coach. I'm sure he's a great guy too. Like I'm nothing against him. It's just more about I think what this team needs right now. Then, you know.
Do you know what the Grizzlies' record was against teams with a winning record after the trade deadline?
I believe 1-19.
Yeah, we beat.
Is that right?
Shout out Fast Break Breakfast.
Who did we beat?
Putting it back in my timeline to remember.
Who? Oh, we beat Pistons. We beat the Pistons
without Jalen Duren.
The night after they had clinched against the Toronto Raptors. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's I didn't mean to kill the mood here. It's just, you know.
Well,
I'm trying to give it a...
Listen, we're going to have exit interviews tomorrow. We'll have further conversation. This is what this off season is all about.
And I'm just trying to give my opinion. People want us to give opinions. They don't want us to beat around the bush on things. Like that's yeah.
And I want people to see the extensive research that you did coming into this.
Look,
you were prepared.
I got a notebook.
John Wooden can't hit you with a failing to prepare as preparing to fail
this is
because you.
Oh my gosh, this is my
notebook.
I just wrote on the last page of this notebook. This is about the Warriors game.
Yeah.
Those are my notes on the Warriors game that we had.
I will say.
We were upset.
You know, we talked about him earlier. Just like looking at this roster as it's constructed right now, and like looking for some positives going into next season, like outside of your big three.
Yeah.
I think Edey's going to be awesome.
So
I am very excited about his prospects.
So yes, we can transition like. So one of the things like you need if you're going to make like you do need contracts. You need people that make money to send out money to get those players' salaries back. If you're going to sit here with if you're going to come bring back a similar roster, Zach Edey's second-year development is everything.
Yep.
And Jalen Wells' second-year development is everything.
And like to me, like I know like some people didn't want to make the playoffs because you wanted to keep the draft pick, whatever. Like I think that's invaluable experience for Zach to be able to play in that series because you know what you got to do to get to the top of this conference, right? Like you know what the stakes are. I'm really excited about Edey. We'll see if he does summer league this year. I'm not sure he has to because he played in every single game this year.
He may not.
And then I think
so. Jalen Wells.
I honestly I know there's always if a rookie plays well enough, do you really need to see him in summer league? But at this point,
I think so. Yes,
I just think it's invaluable.
I think
everything. The playoffs are, and
I think he needs to play.
Go be a bully.
I think Jalen Wells needs to play.
And look like every year there's those players where you're like, well, we don't need to see any more of them in summer league. Like
Jalen Wells. Cam Spencer, they all need to. Jalen Wells' second-year development. Does it go the way of Zaire Williams had a great rookie season for the Grizzlies? Like it was a really good rookie season. That's why we were all excited about him.
Catching lobs from Ja. Yep.
Bennett.
No, we were part of the Zaire hive.
I was Z season. I was doing it. By the way, Zaire Williams would have started at small forward today. If he was on this team.
Probably true.
He would have.
This might be our sign to start.
He would have. But does Jalen Wells, is his second year development, does his second year go the way Zaire? Zaire also got hurt. He also got hurt to start his second year. And he battled some injuries. Is it like Zaire? Or does he take a Desmond Bane leap? And I don't mean a Desmond Bane because Des went to like 18 points a game his second year. So I don't mean that. Yeah. But Des showed a lot of improvement.
Yeah.
Do we see the improvement or is it league adjusts to you and you don't look as good?
Well, and the thing with Jalen that sucks about his injury happening so late in the season is my hope was that, and we'll see, maybe his wrist is good by the time summer league rolls around. We still have a little while, but my hope was that they would do with him what they did with Dez, where it was like, you're the guy. This is your team. You're going to go be the ball handler in summer league. I think that was Dez's second season.
Yeah.
Going into his second season, they did that.
Yeah, I remember.
And you saw the leap after summer league when it was his team and he was running it. Yep.
I remember that summer league battle we lost to Miami. It was him and Max Strus. Right. Max Strus was like Dez and Max Strus were going back and forth. And now you look at both of them and they're both really good NBA players.
People in the chat are confused. We're not saying Desmond Bane improved this year.
We're saying from year one to year two. We're saying Jalen Wells' second year. Is Jalen Wells going to take a second year leap similar to Dez or Zaire Williams? That's going to matter. Jalen Wells and Zach Edey are going to matter. Even if they do make a change elsewhere, like Jalen Wells and Zach Edey's year two is going to be massive for this team.
Yes. And
Brandon Clark coming back if he's not moved also. Like,
what's his injury timeline? Do we know?
We haven't heard anything. We'll probably find out tomorrow.
We know he's not getting surgery, which is great.
Right.
So, yeah, I'd be interested to hear that, too.
I mean, in terms of things, like Bennett put the nail on the head with needing a long wing who can shoot the three and defend.
You need
but you
toughness.
need more.
You need toughness. This team
and you also need ball handling. Like, here's the thing.
Yes.
I'm stuck in a conundrum of sorts because for me, if there is any player who over the course of the last few weeks has proven himself as somebody that I want to see wear a Grizzlies uniform following the season, it's Scottie Pippen Jr.
Yeah.
He's been awesome, and especially what he's been defensively for you. But he doesn't have the size, and he has struggled on the ball. And as your backup point guard and playing behind a player like Ja Morant, who we love Ja, he is a superstar. When he is on the court, he's one of the best players in the league. I will stand on that forever and always. But he misses games.
A lot of games.
And the Grizzlies they have a fine record without, not just a fine record, like a very serviceable record when he missed games this season. But once you get to a place in the postseason, it just further puts a spotlight on how critical that is to have players that you can trust to create offense for you.
Yes.
And to create for themselves and to create for others. And I love Scottie Pippen Jr. I don't want that to get misconstrued. But that is something that you have to consider when you're looking at all of the various holes that this roster has. And if the purpose of this playoff matchup with the Thunder, as opposed to going out in the play-in, like that was something that became again abundantly clear. We don't have enough ball handlers on this team.
No, we don't, and they want to have guys who are who are playmakers, who can all dribble and pass and shoot and everything. But I think we found out that against this, especially a team like this, you don't have as many as you probably thought. So you do need to add some, and you need it preferably on the wing. I do think there's other long-term things here. They do need more toughness. I know CJ, your co-host. CJ has been on this for a long time about this team. It is fair. This team has a label of, they are front runners. Like when things are going well, they're popping, they're good, they're going. But when you punch them, they don't really punch back. They do have defensive issues at the point of attack on defense with Ja Morant and Desmond Bane out there. So if you're going to have that, you better flank them with guys that can defend. You better flank them with defenders all over the court. And then I do think the number one thing, Jessica, you hit on it, and I don't know if you meant to, but you did. The number one thing for this team is Ja Morant's availability.
Yeah.
It is the number one thing. If that's your number one guy's got to play. Like he does. He's got to play. He's got to be available to you. For how many regular season games did he play this year?
I don't know the number off the top of my head, but truly, if Ja doesn't get hurt in that last game, we said it a million times.
We've said that a bunch, though.
They were going to win. They were at least in a fair position to win a game against the Thunder. And then based on what I saw tonight, you protect home court. Who knows what the series looks like?
Yeah,
you could have a complete turnaround on what we're discussing when it comes to this playoff series with the Thunder. Because the Thunder showed they can bleed. You at least made them look that they were a vulnerable one seed.
I was like that. The Clippers are going to give them hell. Like the Clippers will give them problems because the Clippers have the length and the athleticism to handle. We are lacking on the athletic end of things. We definitely need more athletes. Definitely need to get more athletic. But the Clippers, they do not lack for long athletic wings.
They are down 20 in the third quarter, just FYI.
Yeah, the Clippers
they're about to tie this series, probably. The Nuggets.
Nuggets said, "What wall?"
Nuggets did.
Yeah, don't count out the MVP just yet.
Yeah. The third quarter, they came out blazing because it was a 2-point game at halftime. Yeah, this third quarter, Denver came out on fire. So that's, So when I do go through that, I say the three teams with three players making $35 million or more next season are the Cavs, the Sixers. It'll be the Celtics. The Celtics are in here too. The Celtics will be in here too.
Because one of your three making that much money is the best player in the world.
There won't be $35 million or more. The Celtics won't be in there. They'll still only have two because Holiday and Porzingis are both under 35 next year. Holiday's 32.5 and Porzingis is 30 exactly. But you have to go the Sixers and the Suns are debacles. The Nuggets 3. Are you better than that 3? The Cavs 3. Are you better than that 3? Like, these are things that they're uncomfortable, but they're conversations that need to be had. And they are uncomfortable conversations. They are. But for the other things we talked about, Scottie Pippen Jr., revelation in this series. Built for it. He's there for it.
The importance of Ja Morant.
The importance of Ja Morant. He's got to be available. He has to be available. And then year two, Zach Edey and Jalen Wells is going to matter a ton for this team. And then obviously who they hire as a head coach. Is there anything else y'all would like to add? By the way, Jaren, if he does make All-NBA, he's eligible for a full Supermax, and none of that conversation about his contract matters, and he is eligible for 5 years, $345 million. Do I think they would give him the full $345? No, I do not. But I do think he'd get a ton of it. So it would be what he would get is more than any other team would be able to offer him. So that is certainly, and I do think rooting for him to make All-NBA is probably the easiest thing you can do. So let's hope he makes it.
And there is still a chance.
There's still a chance. There's absolutely a chance. Anything else y'all would like to say? By the way, we started this the last regular season game of the season, and it's been awesome.
Yeah, we so appreciate
this has been cool.
Therapeutic. Yeah.
Although I didn't like the stares I got from y'all as I'm going through some of this spiel about the roster. Y'all are just giving me stares that are like
Professor
uncomfortable
Roser.
stares.
Professor Roser
Y'all are giving me uncomfortable stares to the point that I'm like, did I say something wrong?
No, I felt like I should have a notebook and should be taking notes so that I could more efficiently navigate that space. But we appreciate you doing the work because Bennett and I weren't prepared.
Oh, yeah. I just got a text that Michael Wallace tells me if they will absolutely give Jaren the full Supermax if it's the Supermax. They will absolutely give it to him. Okay.
Well, there you go. I trust Michael Wallace's opinion on that.
Yeah.
As far as the season, just putting a bow on it, I would just say I'm always bummed when it ends.
It does. It stinks.
I love watching this team. Love rooting for this team. It's a bummer that the season ended the way that it did. And like we just talked about for a while, I hope it's a big newsy offseason, and I hope we come back next season just feeling like they really went for it in the offseason, and we feel like we're going to have a really good team coming into next year. That's where I'm at.
I am looking forward to seeing everything they do in the offseason. This is the first time in a while where it has felt like, there's kind of at a crossroads here. Like there's real decisions that we haven't had an offseason like this in a long time, so it's going to be tense. But no, it's one of these things like we're always done and you're exhausted after the season. You are. It's a long season. It's 82 games, and we're blessed to be able to do what we do. And I'm not kidding you. It'll be a month, and I'll be like, damn. I wish we had a game tonight at the Forum.
Yeah, that's what I tried to
miss
continue
it immediately.
Preaching. And it feels preachy when you're going through it, but like truly.
You do.
When you're in the dog days of the offseason, you're like, man, the things I would do to come down and watch one more Grizzlies game or just have the opportunity to sit down. Even with the frustrations that emerged. And I get it. Like,
especially when we do talk shows,
we added a top 5 worst sporting event outcomes that I've ever been a part of when it came to that loss in Game 3 and giving up the largest second half comeback in NBA playoff history. That was awful. But like we all get through it together, and at the end of the day, every conversation that's had moving forward, I like to remind everyone, comes from a place of, and I can speak for all three of us, I think we love this team. We love the city. We love the players involved. We love the coaches involved. Like, we love the training staff. I love the ushers. I love the security team that welcomes me to every game. And like at the end of the day, the ultimate goal is for this team to be one of the best teams in the NBA and someday to compete for an NBA championship. Like, that's what this is all about. And I'm excited to see what that next step is in them trying to navigate a perennially difficult Western Conference that feels like it just gets tougher every year. But at the end of the day, if this was the end of one iteration, like, I'm excited to see what's next, but I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for every single player who goes out there. And, you know, we have to sit here and be critical at times, and I always try to make it constructive criticism, but there's times where you're angry and there's times where you're sad. But it all comes from a place of, we all just want this team to win. Yeah. And I look forward to seeing them win more games
that's why
next year. And they won
heated.
48 regular season games.
It gets heated. And Jess, I am so, like, I was talking to Bennett about this earlier. I said, it is so good that Jessica is here on this show because I am the crash out. Like, I will crash out. Like, I can be the crash out of the group and just go a little too far with things. Like, I can be that guy. And Bennett, you're like the emotional.
Every loss bothers me to my core.
Everything bothers you to your core.
Yeah.
Not every loss bothers me. Like it. Not every loss bothers me like it bothers you. And then there's Jess, who is just like the balance. You are the balance. Yeah,
I'm gonna
absolutely.
Go meditate.
But no, the season.
And have a glass of wine.
Look, this season was wild. It started off amazing, even though you never knew when your point guard was going to play. And then things start to go south after the deadline. You end up firing your coach with 9 games left in the season, bringing an interim coach.
I saw a lot of things I'd never seen before.
A lot of things you hadn't seen before. Your point guard starts playing again. Then you end up losing in a play-in game. Then you win a play-in game. Then you're in the playoffs. And you lose by more points in a game 1 than anybody's ever done in NBA history. Then in game 3, your point guard gets hurt. And it just gets depressing. So, in a sense, deep breath that it's over. But it's like you never know. You never know any NBA season what's going to happen. And so this has been, we started this the last home game of the season, and it's been awesome with both of y'all.
And thanks, everyone.
Thank you to everyone
Truly.
for listening. We appreciate every single one of you. We hope to do more of this next season for these home games. And then, who knows about the road games, but we'll figure something out. We'll come back. We'll wrap things up here.
Summer League DP? Anyone?
Summer League DP. I'll be in Vegas. I should be out there. Love Vegas. Vegas is different when you don't drink anymore like me. We'll get back. We'll wrap things up here. John Roser, Bennett, Doyle, Jessica Benson. Back after this.
At the Regional One Health Surgery Center, our focus is not only on healing, but getting you back to normal as quickly as possible. With expert surgeons and the latest technology, we offer the most advanced robotic and minimally invasive procedures. That means you get the most effective care with less time in the hospital and more time doing what you love. Regional One Health, specializing in tomorrows.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous. Be sure to schedule your delivery for the next game at hogsfly.com or come visit us in the alley.
This is Gary Parrish reminding you about Danny Morrison Roofing Professionals. They're a local, family-owned and operated business serving the Mid-South's residential and commercial roofing needs since 2010. It's the home of the free roof. You really can get a new roof with no cost to you. Most roofing jobs, they can be done in one day, so this isn't some lengthy process. Just call Danny at 901-870-0186. It's Danny Morrison Roofing, a proud supporter of the University of Memphis Athletic Department. Danny Morrison Roofing, 901-870-0186.
Hey, I got good news, folks. It's springtime at Oak Hall. Okay, not technically springtime, but you walk in that store, you'll feel like it. The colors are bright. The clothes are beautiful. It is time to get ready for spring and summer at Oak Hall. Maybe you're headed somewhere warm. They've got swimwear too. And it's the same wonderful people, same beautiful clothes who are there for you at Christmas and throughout the year. Springtime at Oak Hall. Go back in and see your friends today.
Spring into big bloomin' wins at Southland Casino Hotel. Earn entries in April to win your share of up to $100,000 in free play or a 2025 GMC Denali Sierra on April 26th. On Fridays, play Take It or Leave It for your share of $215,000 in free play. Saturdays through April 19th, win $1,500 in free play every 15 minutes. Big wins and a brand new Denali. Only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Imagine leaving for work and never coming home, all because of a careless driver. Don't be the reason Dad can't make it to the game or Mom never answers the phone. There are hundreds of TDOT workers keeping Tennessee roads safe. Their safety is all of our responsibility. We've lost 113 TDOT workers. That's too many. One is too many.
It's National Work Zone Awareness Week. Work with us. Move over. Slow down.
Looking for a place to get hyped before the game? Courtside Grill at the Westin Memphis Beale Street is the place. Try our specialty appetizers like alley-oop nachos layered with cheese, tomatoes, and jalapenos. The technical foul appetizer will mean you are in big trouble as you savor 6 big bites of wings. Fallon out tenders dipped in buttermilk served with fries will be worth it. And try our unlimited soup and salad for just $15. Snack on some chips and queso while you're waiting for that courtside burger. It's 7 ounces cooked to order served with fries. Dribble into flavor with our full court press cocktails, the ultimate shot for your taste buds. The fan favorite is the Slam Dunk drink, which will really get you hyped up. If you're hanging with your friends, a bucket of beer will do the trick, and a must try is that courtside lemonade that is a divine cocktail for the ladies. After all the fun at courtside, jump into our heavenly bed for a restful night. Courtside Grill just across the street from the FedEx Forum. See it, the only destination before and after the game. It's all fun at Courtside Grill.
And we're back here on the Double Post. Grind City Media on YouTube, Grind City Media on X, and 92.9 FM ESPN on your radio dial. This is our final segment of the DP for the season. So appreciate all of you out there for watching, for listening on your ride home, for calling in. It is, like we weren't sure. We thought this would be good. Like we would have people watching us, listening to us. We thought. But it has been more than we thought it was going to be, and for that, we are so appreciative, and we cannot wait to be back next season. And, maybe we'll try to do some different things next season on this show. Add in your chat comments, add in, as long as they're, PG, and maybe add in some tweets.
I'm fine adding
and
ones
things
that
like
aren't.
that. And we'll try to incorporate some other things, but we will say our thank yous and goodbyes now from the Grizzlies, Scott Zachary, John Pugliese, Odyssey and 92.9 ESPN. Nicole Harbin's their VP and GM. Brad Carson is their brand manager. Our radio crew, Eric Hasseltine, Elliot Perry, Michael Wallace works on the radio crew at times. Wes Warwick back in our radio network broadcast studios over out in East Memphis. Our technical director downstairs here at the Forum, Kyra Black, 101 like Gunna. Darnell, Jacob Blevins, Sean Byrne, that's Darnell Brady, by the way, Jessica Benson, and of course you, Bennett Doyle, and then everybody else out there watching and listening. Thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart, I mean it. We're not going to have another DP until next season. Maybe we'll do some stuff over the summer. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Maybe we do some stuff over the summer. We'll see how that goes. But it might not be until next year. So until next season, we will talk to you. Jessica Benson Show, 8 a.m. on Monday. Gary Parrish Show, 10 a.m. on Monday. Chris Vernon Show, noon on Monday. But the last double post of the season. So we will talk to you next season. Until then, good night, everybody.